Shalom, giving all praise to Yahweh, Shalom to the hopefully elect out there, the chosen. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, We Are the Chosen of the Chosen, the Elect. Now, what you're going to understand is that the Most High's chosen people are the Israelites, but there's a chosen among the chosen. That's in Revelation 14, which speaks about them men being redeemed. That's the chosen from Israel, because not all Israel is of Israel, meaning is was that Galatians 6, around about the 14th verse. I'm not going to go to it. I may go to it sometime later, but it speaks about the Israel of the Most High, or the Israel of God, which is the chosen of the chosen, the elect of the elect, or the elect of the chosen. The chosen people of all them nations. When you go back to Genesis chapter 10, it goes into the various nations, which some scholars call the table of nations. And out of that nation, out of those nations, the Most High set up a chosen. So it came through, Noah, and out of Noah, the line went from Noah. Just read Genesis, the 10th chapter. The line went from Noah to, or the First Chronicles. You can read First and Second Chronicles, but First Chronicles goes into the genealogy, even the genealogy of other nations, the Edomites and so forth. But from Noah, he had three sons. Out of those three sons came the chosen line, which was Shem, the youngest son, the baby of the bunch. Then out of Shem had five principal sons. And out of those sons, Arphaxad was a chosen line. Then it went down to, Peleg and Joktan. And Peleg was the one that the chosen line went through all the way down. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? Let me do this. Let me do this right here. Let me go to Genesis 10. I was putting these precepts together. You're going to get a lot of precepts, and there's so many precepts, I'm not even going to cover all of them. Most High willing, I made a copy of the list of these precepts I put together. And, Yahweh Bashem Tazah, I'll bring them out on the street just to show you at the end of the day why there's so much controversy over the Hebrew Israelites, or as they say, the BHI. It's a controversy because we are the people. The scriptures speak about a people forth to come. So we are that people. We are the fulfillment of Ezekiel 37. So vocab, when you there's a term, it's two terms. It's supersessionism, and I'll look it up if Most High permits me. And what's the other one? Supersessionism, and what's the other one? Replacement theology. Look those terms up, and somebody can put it in the comment section, or I may look it up myself. But and basically, it means that you had one prominent thing that was the number one thing, then something else took its place. When you go into the scriptures speak about the children of Israel as sons of Israel. Actually, the word there in the Hebrew is not children of Israel, but sons of Israel, Bunyam Yasha'ala. And the blue letters say Bunya, which Bunya means my son, or son singular. The word there should be Bunyam Yasha'ala. Those are the sons of Israel. And that never changed. So with the New Testament coming along and the Messiah coming along, you have people like Vocab and others that say, oh, well, the Lord Jesus, I use the word Jesus, although I hate to use that word, the Lord came on the scene and changed everything. That's why you had the Great Commission in Matthew 28:19, go to all the world and teach the gospel to every creature. It's talking about Israelites that are scattered among the nations. Because to get the full understanding of that, you have to go back to Matthew's 10, really, the whole chapter. That's a powerful, powerful chapter. We may even go into that today because we did go into it. I believe we started at around the 22nd verse. But that whole chapter, as Yaquab, Elder Yaquab used to say, that whole chapter is dynamite, dynamite. And that's the commission. That's the real commission. So when a Christian goes, takes you to Matthew 28:19, which is the last couple of verses, you take them to Matthew's 10 and start from the top, or you can go right to the 5th verse. And it tells you the Most High. So why would the Lord come and say only go to Israel, don't go to the Gentiles, the Samaritans? Why did he curse out the Samaritan woman at the well, which she wasn't an Israelite? For you camps out there to teach that she was an Israelite, she wasn't an Israelite. Ruth was not an Israelite, because when you go into the account, Ruth's relative followed their god Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Bel Peor. So she said, I'm not going to follow that God. I'm going to follow the God of Israel. And she was a part of the, you know, David's grandmother. Is it David's grandmother? David's great grandmother was, you got Jesse, you got Obed, and you got Boaz. So that would be his great grandmother. So she became of the line of Israel, but she was a woman. So when she comes back, she's going right back into slavery, even though she trusted the power of Israel. Anyway, let me go into it. Let me get into these. I said I was going to go to 10, and I got so many precepts. There's no way in hell I can cover all these precepts. So how about Shemiah Sharatazal? I'll go through these in the street. So this is almost like a back to the basics, descendants of Noah, right? So now let me come down here, come way down here to do this. Okay, 24th verse, 25th verse. And Aphaxad begat Selah, and Selah begat Eber. Now the word Eber, that's where you get the word Iba, which is the word what they use today is Hebrew, and Hebrew just means past. It just means past. That's all it means. Because what did they do? They kept the language of the past. And unto Eber were born two sons. The sons of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. So now, bear me for a minute. Okay, all these were the sons of Joktan. These are the sons of Shem. Give me a second. Let me do this. Let me go to Joktan. Let me look up Joktan and Peleg. Joktan. Let's get some information on Joktan. Yaquatan, son of Eber and descendant of Shem and patriarch of various Arabian tribes. Okay, so this takes me to First Chronicles 1, verse 19. And unto Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, because in his day, earth was divided. The brother's name was Joktan, and Joktan begat. All these were the sons of Joktan. Okay, Joktan, Shem, Aphaxad, Selah, Eber, Peleg, Ru, Terah, Abram. Abram, the same is Abraham, the sons of Abraham. So, and Ophir and Havilah and Jobab, Jobab, all these were the sons of Joktan. So now let's look up all these were the sons of Joktan. Joktan. Let's look up Jobab. Okay, it doesn't tell you. Now it says one of the kings of Edom. That's why you did the Septuagint says that Job was an Edomite. When you read that, they're going off. Let me try it this way. Let me do it this way. Let me go to Luke. Luke 3. Bear me for a minute. Because you gotta understand these genealogy, right? Abraham, which was the son of Terah, which was the son of Nichor, which was the son of Seruk. Okay, so here we go. It's written different. Pelek, which was the son of Heber, okay, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Aphaxad. So let's deal with Pelek. Pelek, Peleg is division, the son of Eber. which means division. Let's click on Hebrew. Peleg, division. Peleg. And unto Eber or Hebrew were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan. And Eber lived 40 years, and Eber lived four and 30 years, and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after Peleg 430 years, and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg So the line went from Shem, from Noah to Shem to Arphaxad, down the line, Heber, Peleg, up until Abraham, and it landed on Abraham. The chosen line didn't go through Abraham's father, Terah, because that's in Joshua. He pulled him out. He pulled him out from his father. One of his brothers died. One of his brothers lived. And when you go all into the history of Laban, he came from that line. Leah and Rachel, Rebecca, they're all part of the family line. So they were cousins, and they were cousins. So that was allowed back then. So I just wanted to go all into all that to show you that the Most High is not, you can't be a spiritual Israelite. You know, Abraham wanted his servant to receive the inheritance because he was a faithful servant, but he was not the one. His first son born, his very first son, Ishmael, he wanted him to receive the inheritance because that was his son. Oh, that's my son. But the Lord didn't want that. Nope, he's going to be great. 12 princes shall he beget, but he's not the chosen. The chosen is going to come from your second son, which, Abraham couldn't, accept it because the son wasn't born. He said, next year at this time, thou shalt, Sarah shall conceive, and thou shalt have a son named, and you shall call his name Isaac, which means laughter. So when he saw his son, he fell in love with his son because that was the son of his wife, not the son of a bondmaid, Hagar. Okay? So it's important to understand this genealogy and to understand that when the Most High is dealing with genealogy, there's no such thing as a spiritual genealogy. You can't be a spiritual Israelite. You have to be from that line. So we claim that our lines goes directly back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, the JJs, the small hats, they can say the same thing. They can say our line goes back to Abraham, and we'll agree with them. Yes, your line does go back to Abraham. Yes, your line goes back to Shem, does go back to Shem. Yes, your line goes back to Isaac, but it doesn't go back to Jacob. That's the split. So, it's important to understand genealogy, which Christians don't understand genealogy. They don't understand genealogy. So that's why I went through that. So basically, when you take the word Peleg or Joktan or Arphaxad or Shem and you go into the genealogy, it's going to lead you to really two books, Genesis and First Chronicles. So now I got that out the way. So that supersessionism, however you say it, and that uh, replacement theology that vocab Malone teaches, that when you go to the 144,000 in Revelation 7, that's not talking about Israelites. That's talking about the body of believers, which the body of believers are Israelites of the elect. So, this guy, he's losing all the way around. His argument is weak as hell. Hey, look, Dr. Brown, his argument is weak as hell. Yeah, I was watching this one video. I believe it was Karate Zabah, the elder out of Baltimore. I believe he put it up, or could have been somebody else. I was watching it last night, as a matter of fact, or yesterday, and Dr. Quaz Brown said, and Quaz, by the way, is a god of the Edomites, which he looks just like Barry Manilow, or he looks like Dr. Brown. That's why he called him Dr. Quaz Brown. He said they made up their own Hebrew, this Lashwan made up. I proved to you in a video I did 3 days ago, that if you go into the Ben Yehudi Hebrew English Hebrew dictionary, in the back of the book, it says it gives you the Sirach, which this right here is called. You can call it the language of Aram, or the Assyrian language. The Babylonians also wrote this because they were Assyrians, but they also dealt with cuneiform. But this could be called, like, if you look up, you go to Google and you look up a Sirach language, this will come up. Or if you put Assyrian, this will come up. Or you put what's the other term? Aramaic. If you put Aramaic, because where did Aramaic come from? Aramaic was named after the man Arab, which was one of the sons of Shem. Shem had 5 sons. So when we open up the Torah, it's not written in ancient Hebrew, Lashwan Kodash, which Dr. Quaz Brown said, "Oh, you made the language up." Well, in that same book that this guy, the father of modern Hebrew, Ben Yehuda, he said he said this, and this is the old Hebrew, and he showed you those symbols that we use today. That Ariel didn't make it up. He discovered it. He figured it out. They tell you, scholars will tell you that when you show them the ancient Hebrew, it's in the book that I showed you. The book of dealing with archaeology, dictionary of biblical archaeology or whatever. It's in that book. It shows you the different periods of the Hebrew, and they said the top part of that book was you got to watch that video that I put together. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description box. But I go into the Hebrew. So the scholars, when they see that ancient Hebrew or Ariar's Hebrew, they say that's Paleo Hebrew or that's ancient Hebrew. But anyway, let's get back into the subject. So in order for the Most High to set up the chosen line, where did it stop at? It stopped at Jacob. It stopped at Jacob. If your line goes back to Esau, then Isaac, then Abraham, you're not the people. Even though you're Shem, you can call yourself Shem. You can call yourself, you come out of the line of Abraham or Isaac, but you can't say that you. What they're saying is they come out of the line of Jacob. They don't come out of the line of Jacob. You come out of the line of Esau. That's why you got people like Vocab Malone and other scholars that swear up and down, oh, the Edomites just vanished in the thin air. Yeah, they want the Edomites to vanish in thin air because they don't want to be identified with being Edomites. So now let me get into my topic. I haven't even hit one precept. Okay, let's try to breeze through this. I'm not going to make this long. Try not to make it long. Let's go to Isaiah 45. It says God uses Cyrus. So let's go into a little history on Cyrus. He wasn't an Israelite, by the way, before you jump the gun. The Lord anointed. The word anointed is Mashayak. That's the title of the Lord, Mashayak, Hamashayak, the anointed or chosen. Kawa, Rush, or Karash. David Koresh, the Branch Davidian guy, his name was Cyrus. So it says, let me see, Cyrus possesses thou the furnace, doesn't mean that, the king of Persia and conqueror of Babylon, first ruler of Persia, to make a decree allowing the Israelite exiles to return to Jerusalem. And he put up the finances. That's why they had to go to the records after he died. They were saying, well, look, we're supposed to build Jerusalem back, the city of Jerusalem back. And they said, no, you're not. So they said, let's go to the records and see if Cyrus made that decree. So they went to the records and they found a record where it says Cyrus made a decree that monies will be granted to the Israelites to build the temple back. So they had to honor, this man was long dead. So they had to honor him because it was on the records. Where you think Esau got all these records? That 23andMe stuff, that whole thing about going into the records of who you are goes back to the ancient world. You got these Christians saying that, well, you can't prove, where's your record of genealogy? Well, look, it's a spiritual record, Deuteronomy 28 and other scriptures. Okay, so it says the king of the Persians. Now, it was actually the Medes that took down the Babylonians. Then the Persians came in. It was Darius the Mede. Okay, so where am I? Come back over here. So I'm gonna go right. Go to the third verse, Isaiah 45:3. And I will give thee the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches of secret places. And that goes to us now. The treasures of darkness is what? Understanding these precepts. And hidden riches of secret places. That's also in the secret places, understanding the scriptures. That thou mayest, that's why we here at Great Millstone, the Most High granted us the understanding of the MOTB. That's why we got it correct. And these other top camps, they don't got it correct. Now, Sakari teaches it as well. It says that thou mayest know that I, the Lord Yahweh, which called thee by thy name, am the power of Israel, Yasha'Allah. Yasha'Allah. Now, if you go to Yasha'Allah, blue letter goes off. The translation of the word Israel or Yasha'Allah is He, Prince God. He, Prince God. Now it says, the fourth verse, for Jacob my servant's sake, and Israel mine elect. I have even chosen thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. That's why we go to Jake, and Jake don't want to hear it. So at the end of the day, what is the Most High going to do? He's not going to keep, have his men out there telling the Israelites. He's got a certain number. Once he gets that number together, once he seals that number, which I believe they're already sealed, this is my personal belief. I believe every one of the 144,000 heard this, and every one of the multitude in a 9th verse, Revelation 9, 7 verse 9, heard this. I believe that my personal belief is that these tribes coming up from the South America, some of them are among they have to be. Some of them, what does it say in Second Ezra's 13? It said a peaceable multitude. It said, and then they shall come. So the Most High is going to bring all the, I believe, not all of them, because you're going to have some of the elect that are in other countries in England. You got brothers out in England and Germany, Italy, around the world, in Africa, that they're going to be delivered if they're of the elect. So these people coming up from South America, I believe some of them are part of that multitude in the 9th verse, Revelation 7 and 9. So we're living in a very exciting time. And see, the Republicans don't want them coming up. The Democrats have to let them up because they're liberals. But it's all a part. The bigger picture is it's the Most High bringing them up here. The Most High is bringing them up here to this altar, this 5,000 square mile altar called Babylon the Great. So the Most High is going to destroy a lot of them, and the Most High is going to deliver a certain number of them, starting with the 144,000. And that's why you see so many. Every time you turn around, there's reports of a starship, UFOs, UAPs, if you will. And Esau and the government is now admitting to it because there's too many of them. Everybody in Imama got a smartphone with a camera in it, man. So you can't deny it no more. And they know exactly what these ships are. When you see the ships, Richard, inside joke. Oh, I'm not even going to talk about that. I was going to say this guy, what's his guy? Jerry Springer. He died, and come to find out, he was dealing with some Israelite woman, or at least one Israelite woman, or a couple of them, and he liked that hot chocolate, and he had kids to them, and guess who got the inheritance? The black kids, which the Jake kids, which they were Edomites anyway. They were nothing but tears. So it says here, it says, 6th verse, Isaiah 45, verse 6, that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west, from the east to the west, from the west to the east, in the book of Baruch, that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. Give me a second. For Jacob, my servant's sake, this is what I really wanted. And Israel, national Israel, mine elect, I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee, though thou hast not known me. So like I said, the Most High is only dealing with the elect of the elect. You have the elect, which is all of Israel, the chosen. Then you have a chosen among the chosen. So all these different camps, they're all like Israelites, right? But then you have the elect within them. And we're going to see who then it shall be known who are my chosen. Then it shall be known that there's been a prophet among them. Isaiah 14, I already know that by heart. Isaiah chapter 14. This is the future prophecy. For the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the strangers are the Israelites. You can't talk about that's the nations. High priest Ariah used to teach that. He went off. the strangers right here, when you look that word up, it's talking about Israelites. Before you brothers, when we got on YouTube in July of 2007, y'all brothers that was watching it, y'all was strangers. You were going to church, you were doing what you did back then, and then you watch and you was intrigued by it and you got addicted by it. And then the spirit jumped on me and said, set up camps. Don't wait for us. Go out and just set up camps. And brothers just started setting up camps. And the rest is history. So you are the strangers that shall what? Shall be joined with them. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. So we represent the former of the house of Jacob. You represent the latter of the house of Jacob. So you're clinging unto us, meaning you're learning. So the strangers are the Israelites, mainly the ones that's going to wake up. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them. These are the other nations, not with Esau, in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captive, whose captive they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So who's oppressing us right now? This man, even to this day. This man is oppressing us even to this very day. So we're going to oppress them. They're going to be oppressed. Basic scripture that we all know and love. So let me hit you with a couple more precepts. Isaiah 41:8. I have 2, 4, 6. I got like 20, I got to be 30 precepts I got lined up. Isaiah 41:8. But thou, Israel, art my servant. Israel is talking about national Israel. And prove that Jacob, the actual Jacob, which Israel and Jacob are interchangeable, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. So now let's look up the word Israel. Yasha'Allah. You just click on this. The word should be a prince. When the angel gave Jacob the name, he said, your name is Israel, Yasha'Allah, for as a prince you shall rule with God, or the Most High. See, they went off on that. God prevails. Doesn't mean that. It means he, Prince God. The second name of Jacob given to him by the Most High after his wrestling with the angel at Peniel, that which means a face of God, face of the Most High. The name of the descendants and the nation of the descendants of who? Jacob. That's why when you go back to Isaiah 14, it mentions Israel and it mentions Jacob. So Jacob and Israel are interchangeable. We're going to jump to the ninth verse, same chapter. Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth. Are we at the ends of the earth? Yes. The scriptures tell you that we were scattered to the ends of the earth. So if the starting point was in the east, or they call it the Middle East, near Africa and Palestine and so forth, and the Most High said we're going to be scattered to the end, to the other side of the earth. What does that mean? That's talking about the West. So when Cristobal Colon came over here, who did he encounter? He called them the Indians, indigenous people. Whether you go to Canada, whether you go to the US, whether you go to Central or South America, those people were called the Indian people, the indigenous people. Those were the Israelites. So when he came over here, he encountered the people that he encountered were Israelites. The people that he encountered were the 10 tribes or the northern kingdom. And when you had Edomites coming over here, you had religious leaders and scholars, and they all said, well, most of them, most of the prominent ones, there's articles on that where they came to the Americas, they said these people are Israelites. They don't say that no more. But back in the 15, 16, 17, even into the 1800s, when they came, they said, these are the Israelites right here. You know, this is the Northern Kingdom. That doesn't apply to the JJs. Cristobal, Cristobal Colon never encountered pasty Edomites. They were the dark people. So it's easy, man, to prove. You know, you done lost, man. You all you Christians, you done lost. Dr. Brown, you lost. You're an embarrassment. Oh, I have made up languages. They made up Hebrew. Well, guess what? That's the same Hebrew that the father of modern Hebrew, Ben Yehudi, uh, made it, commissioned the, made it. How can I say? That was the language that was the official language that was given to the Europeans that came to the land of Israel. And what Ben Yehuda said was the actual spoken Hebrew are what the Arabs are speaking. Because who the Arabs or the Ishmaelites? They were Hebrews. They were Hebrews. So this truth is overwhelming, man. Give you a couple more precepts. Isaiah 44. You can almost say this is back to the basics. The blessings of Yasha'Allah. Yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Give me a second here. Yeah, I got that call, you brothers. Let me know what's going on. So let me give you a few more precepts and then I'll be out of here. Like I said, there's no way I can hit all these precepts, so I will continue this. Uh, this is pretty much back to basics to some of y'all. You know, I mean, this is overwhelming proof that the Most High is only dealing with the Israelites. So there's no way, a Christian says, that they can be delivered because the Most High is only dealing with Israel at the end of the day. That's why you have so many Edomites that watch YouTube and they'll come down. Oh, them guys are on such and such street and so street, next to so and so deli, next to the pizza shop or whatever. And they'll get their precepts together and they'll come down there and they'll get sliced up with the scriptures because they're looking for a way in. They're looking for a way in because they want to be mostly Edomites. You don't see Hamites and Ishmaelites and Moabites. It's only Esau. Only Esau. The meat and potatoes of this thing is Israel and Esau. We are the meat. Esau is the potatoes. So they put their precepts together to try to, if they can sneak one Edomite in there, that's an opening for them. So if this affects them. They can't sleep at night. And really the scholars want to come out there too. And even this guy, Tucker Carlson, he rolled out to the camp when we was on 34th Street. This was back, I believe it was 2014. And he acted like he's not, because first thing I asked him was, I said, are you one of them? Because I knew his name, but I forgot his name. I remember when he was on CNN. That's how far back that guy goes. I remember he was on CNN. Then from CNN, you didn't see him for a while. Then he popped up on MSNBC. And then you didn't see him for a while. Then all of a sudden he popped up on Fox. And then you know what happened? They fired him from Fox over this voting thing, this rig election thing. And I guess part of the deal was to get rid of him because he was coming out with a lot of truth. He was coming out raw with it. So pretty much people are going to follow him. But see, he rolled up on us and I said, aren't you one of them news guys? He looked at me like, nah, I don't know what you're talking about. Then after he left, I said, it's Tucker Carlson. And he kept saying, well, why am I going into slavery? Because that's why they don't want to go into captivity. That's the thing. They don't want to go into captivity. If we say, look, we're gonna be over you, but we're gonna treat you right, they're not gonna the fact that we're saying you're gonna be working out in the field and we're gonna fucking lynch you and hang you and beat your ass and take your woman as concubines, that affects them, man. So they're looking for a way in, and you ain't gonna get that way in. You just give it up and turn it loose, and get ready. Go to the gym and get your back strong because you're gonna be working. But I'm just telling you the truth, man. See, these are a hate group. Nope, we're a truth group. We're a truth group. So it says, thus saith Yahweh, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, each and every last one of us, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, which means Israel, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have what chosen. That's another name. We're also known as Jeshurun, which means the first. I'm gonna look that up. We're also known as what is it? I'm saying it in the Hebrew in my mind. Zerai Allah, but it's Jezreel, which is matter of fact, I'm gonna look that up too. Let's look up Jeshurun. So we're learning Hebrew too. Jacob, Jeshurun. Let's see what Jeshurun means. We're gonna look up Jeshurun and we're gonna look up Jezreel. Yasha, Yasha one, Yasha one. Upright one, a symbolic name for Israel, describing her ideal character, meaning he's number one, she's number one. Yashar, Yashar. Lucy translated, it means like number one, like my number one son. I don't like this definition right here. So then we go to Jezreel, which is Hosea 1. For great shall be the day of Jezreel. That's another name for Israel. Jezreel is Yazariah Allah, which means he's seed of God. He's seed of the power. Let's see if they say what I say. Yisrael. This is Yazariah Allah. Zarai. Zarai. Let's see what Zarai is. Yep. So seed. Yep. That's right. Zarai means seed. It means seed. Allah means the Most High of God. So that's how you get an understanding of these words, these root words. You got to break the words up. Allah, which means power of God, and Zara means seed, and Yah is the prefix of the word, which is he. He God seed, or he seed God. He seed of God. So that's another name for Israel. He's the seed of God. Sons of God, seed of God. God sows. Let's get a couple more. Jeremiah 33 and 24. Start at 23. Moreover, the word of Yahweh came to Jeremiah, saying, Wa Yahaya, the bar says speak, speak. The bar means speak. Yahweh spoke. Al unto Yaramai, Yaramai, Yahweh. Should be Jeremiah, La Amar, to say. I said speak. Yes, the bar is speak, or it also could mean word. get a better understanding when you understand the Hebrew. The Hebrew. So it says, considerest thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which Yahweh hath chosen, he hath even cast them off. And that's what they're saying. All the Israelites are done away with. Thus they have despised my people, which, who are the Lord's people? The Israelites only. The two kingdoms, the northern and the southern kingdom, that's coming back together. That they should be no more a nation before them. Thus saith Yahweh, if my covenant be with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinance of the heaven and the earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob. So that means if I'm giving you another example. Well, that's the best example. The Most High is saying you got to do the impossible in order for Israel to be done away with. Because if the heavens were done away with, then everybody be done away with. Everybody would die. So the Most High is saying in a poetic way that, like what's this song? One of the lyrics of Stevie Wonder. He said, "I will love you forever and a day." Well, forever never stops. There's no end to forever. But if you say, "I love you for forever and a day," meaning I love you forever. And if there's an end to ever, I'm gonna love you an extra day. So that's poetic. That's why Esau can't understand these scriptures. They're not a poetic people. Give you a couple more. Romans 11, we know what that means. The Apostle Paul came straight out, flat out, and said he's an Israelite. So when the Apostle Paul, when it said in Romans 11 that he was apostle to the Gentiles, therefore he magnified his office. Now back, the 7 used to teach that he was talking to the other Gentiles, but ultimately he's not going to get it. No. Romans the 11th chapter is referring to the Israelites. When his office was magnified, he went. That meant that he took those journeys to Asia Minor. That's what it meant, that he magnified his office. When you read Acts the 13th chapter, he was speaking to the Israelites and the Israelite Gentiles, so to speak. But he went beyond the Israelites. The Most High made him go to different places. I believe it was I think his as far as he went. If you got a map, I believe he went as far as like almost 1,000 miles. Now back there, 1,000. They went on ship. That's why it always equates Apostle Paul on being a ship, being shipwrecked, because he was doing his journeys, because of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, put the spirit on him to do what he does. Most High didn't put the spirit on Peter to do that. It wasn't, he didn't appoint Peter or the other 12 to do that. They say stayed centralized in Jerusalem, in Palestine. So guess what? We don't got to go to all these different places, hop on planes and stuff. Hey, like the IUIC, they got hop on plane, they go to these different countries and they break ground over there. When you check out all them different videos that the IUIC, not knocking them on that, because they are teaching the word. They're going in all different parts of Africa and South America. Go to IUIC, put Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Nigeria, put all those different countries that they went to. Ain't nothing panning out there. Ain't nobody watching, because it's not given to them at that time. The focus is supposed to be here in America, but the YouTube allows us to travel through the whole planet. So what did he say? He said, the Most High did not cast away his people, which he foreknew. Because if the Most High cast away his people, I would be cast out with him, for I am an Israelite. And he says of the seed, Zerai, of Abraham with the tribe of Benjamin. We do it this way. Israelites. So Paul was only dealing with the Israelites, wasn't dealing with any other nation. Romans chapter 9, the whole chapter, starting from the 4th verse, that kills them Christians. And they'll play, oh, really doesn't mean that. No, read it for what it says. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the Lord and the service of the Most High and the promises, as whom, let me click on that, which we know this by heart. Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, the Messiah came. Who did he come for? Go back to the 4th verse. Israelites, who is overall the Most High blessed forever, so be it. That amen means so be it. 2 Corinthians 11 verse 22. Are they Hebrews? So am I. Are they Israelites? So am I. Are they the seed of Abraham? So am I. So who is the Apostle Paul dealing with? He was dealing with the Israelites. Some of them at one time didn't know that they were Israelites, like Corinth. He had to keep correcting them. He said, look, you can't have women teaching men. You can't have men with long hair because they were Hellenized. You can't, he didn't tell them not to eat pork, but that was a part of it. You couldn't eat pork. You couldn't do this. You couldn't commit adultery. He had a hard time with the church of Corinth. They were hard-headed because they were all caught up in that the being Hellenized. Yeah, for ye suffer fools gladly, because they were a bunch of fools, seeing ye yourself are wise. For ye suffer if a man bring you into bondage. If a man devour you, if a man take of you, if a man exalt himself, if a man smite you on the, oh, that's a cut for the ISUPK. Oh, really, both of them, because you're supposed to take it. Now, that's a hard thing to do. It says, I speak as concerning reproach as though we have been weak. Now, we ain't weak. We ain't no cowards. Well, we coming off as being weak. Howbeit, whensoever any is bold, I speak foolishly, I am bold also. He is bold in his words. See, when we tell the IUIC, when they do a video on the Charagma and we say they're going off on it, we're saying it boldly. Anytime they say it, we're going to come back and we're going to say it boldly. No, you're going off. You're going off. And the truth is going to be what we said. So we are the elect of the elect. Paul defends his what? Apostleship. He's a special man in the Most High. The highest rank you can be right now is an apostle. An apostle. So, hey, Bishop Nature, he don't want to say apostle. The Most High won't let him say apostle. You know, if you want to say he's an apostle, he better start teaching scriptures the right way. He went from being a bishop to a general, and a general is someone that leads an army. The Most High is not dealing with generals and bishops and deacons, although you're going to have them, and the Most High is dealing with them. But the Most High, what did the Most High say? Let me do this. This is the order right here. 1 Corinthians, let me get ready to close. 1 Corinthians 12. I'm going to give you the order. Okay, it's way down here. It's 1 Corinthians 12, verse 27. Now, you got to read the whole chapter. A lot of information in the 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians. Now ye are the body of Yahushua. Who is he talking to? Those Israelites that were in a Gentile state of mind. So he had to raise them up. And he says, okay, now you're part of the body. But they had to be Israelites. And members in particular. And the Most High have set some in the church first apostles, the highest rank you can be as an apostle. So you got the done your God right. You better call yourself an apostle, but you can't call yourself an apostle because you're not teaching the full truth. So once you teach the full truth, once you start teaching that the Charagma is the way we teach it, then you can call yourself an apostle. Other than that, you're less than the apostle. You can't be an apostle. The Most High won't allow you to be an apostle. It says secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, after that miracles, then gifts of healing, helps, governments, a diversity of tongues. So what do? We don't set up businesses and all that. We just teach. What did Peter and them say, the apostles say in what's that, Acts, the 6th chapter? They set up 7 men full of wisdom and what does it say? Loosely translated, says men that could be trusted to be over this business. As for us, we will continue in prayer and doing the work. We got one job, is to push this word out. Not to clean anybody's backyard or go to the neighborhood and give out food. GMS don't give no people food. Like they can't get food. Guess what? In America, you can get food stamps, man. You can buy what the hell you want. You prove that you're a citizen of this Babylon, and you say I need emergency food stamps, and they get that first card that they give you. You might have some motherfuckers be getting $1,000. They got certain members of their family, they might get $1,000. Then they might cut it down to $500 a month. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles? Meaning this: if you are help, you still got to be like a prophet. You still got to teach. If you're part of the GMS, you have to be a teacher. You have to go out there in the highways and the byways, and you have to teach. The number one job that you do is teach this word. But covet earnestly the best gifts. And what's the best gift? To prophesy. And yet show I unto you a more excellent way. See, it says, speaking in tongues, do all interpret. So another thing that kills these churches, when they start sounding like a broken motorboat, you'll say, what did that mean? I don't know what it means. The Lord was speaking to me in mysteries. Well, it says right here in 1 Corinthians 12 and 30 and 1 Corinthians 14, it says you got to have an interpreter. So where's the interpreter? There ain't no interpreter, so that's demons on you. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom. So let me come over here. Okay, so I stopped at I got the list. So the last precept I went through is Romans chapter 11. And this is like I said, this is pretty much back to the basics. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.